And this podcast is sponsored by Yakattack, and that's yakattack.us. And what Yakattack is the leader in the kayak fishing industry who specializes in kayak fishing rigging solutions. As kayak anglers themselves, they are tightly integrated into the sport of kayak fishing and the community and are acutely aware of what the sport needs. It all starts with the gear track and or the mighty mount. The gear track comes in all different sizes and colors, and the screwball, which connects to that, connects everything to that. So you have one piece that goes to your boat, and then you have the screwball, and then connects to the piece that goes on your boat, and then everything connects to that, which is a variety of rod holders, camera mounts for still cameras and GoPros, light poles with the day flags that folds into the flags, fish finder mounts for the transducer, the display, and the battery. The Black Pack crate system, an awesome crate system that you can attach a whole bunch of stuff to, rod holders and your light poles and your camera mounts, and it comes in a white version. All this Yakattack stuff is made in the USA. And this month our feature is the Visi Carbon Pro. A few years ago, Yakattack set the gold standards in kayak visibility with the Visi Carbon Pro. Fast forward to today, it remains the most dependable flag light combo in the industry. The 48-inch deployed height gets the flag up where it can be seen, and the 14-inch collapsed length allows you to store it where you can use it, when it needs to be used. The whole thing breaks down, the carbon fiber mast breaks down just like a tent pole, folds into the flag, which creates it into a pouch. The expected lamp life of 10,000 plus hours of ultra bright, high efficiency LEDs. The fiber mast is strong and lightweight and narrow profile for low wind drag. The foam, the soft foam, keeps it afloat, which also fits into most rod holders. It is available in an array of mounting options. It fits most boats and popular mounts. Don't compromise with safety. Depend on what tens of thousands of paddlers trust. There is only one Visi Carbon Pro. And this podcast is also sponsored by KayakKevin.com and Kayak Kevin DVDs. Number one DVD is pretty much a year overview of fishing this whole year of kind of extreme stuff. It goes from the shoals to the summertime stuff at the bridge to the Tautog to the stripers at the ships. It's got a real good striper segment. It's got a couple tips in it, but the real instructional stuff comes from Kayak Fishing number 2, which is the summer series, the summer fishing species, and then the Kayak Fishing number 3, which is the brand new one, which is the wintertime species, which we're doing with the season we're in right now. Tautog and striper coming up. The Kayak Kevin Chesapeake Bay tour is a 600-mile tour, 6-week long tour that I paddled all the way around the bay, circumnavigated the bay. And all 4 of these DVDs are available at KayakKevin.com. That's KayakKevin.com and Yakattack at yakattack.us. We got 9. Yeah, we got 9 viewers. All right. All right. This is podcast number 37. It's November 17th, 2014, and we got Willyrags, William Ragulsky from AllOutKayakFishing.com, and we got Rob Choi that somehow we just lost him.
What the fuck?
We just had him and we just lost him.
We've been on with him for 10 minutes. Actually, can you still hear us, Rob?
I think he's trying to call. Yeah, we just lost the connection. Damn, we just lost the connection too. But we got Rob Choi coming up on Skype. It was working pretty well there for a second, so we're gonna try to work with it.
Yeah.
Here he comes. And
he just got disconnected. Never mind. He's Here we go. Yeah, I forgot I moved that.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, I'm trying to get the glare off of it. Yeah. Is he in there?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Huh.
Oh, we don't have video connection right now.
Oh, here we go. It's showing up.
Looks like it's coming up.
Yeah.
Something's gonna come up.
Alright, so yeah, this is the first attempt at this, and this is
it's been going great too. We've been sitting here the whole time the camera's been on while we've been walking around the room. We've been talking with Rob and looking at him the whole time. So I mean, if you can see it on the camera, I mean, it's popping back up. It's trying to get him.
There he is, right there. Yeah, yeah.
I think what it is, you can see me, I can't see you.
We're good with that.
Yeah, because it's facing the couch, and we're off to the side a little bit.
Maybe the camera is showing like.
I mean, you can see me.
Maybe my camera disconnects after a while if it doesn't have movement or something. I don't know. I feel like I'm screaming though.
Goodness.
What is that doing?
I'm closing that window.
Huh.
Add more people to your call for free.
Okay, maybe that's what was popping up. All right.
All right.
Yeah, so we have Talkfish this week, and also
Did you get through his website?
What's that?
Rob's website.
Oh no. We got Rob Choi from angling-addict.com. Thank you, sir. And we got Lee. And this is what I'm trying to do with the podcast. As we go into next year, I'm going to set up a studio at my house with my larger computer, larger screen, so we can have Skype right here, just like this. And we're going to try to do hit interviews from all over, from everybody. I want to hit the whole course, the Hawaiian guys, and California guys, Texas guys, Florida guys. I just want to hit and New York guys. They just had a good season, all that stuff. I want to, you see them on Facebook and you see their pictures, like, man, I want to talk to these guys about it, So that's what's coming up for this year. So this is like the test run of it, and so far looks like it's working all right. Is that the dogs?
Yeah, she's decided to scratch. I don't know. She's pretty mad at me right now.
Yeah. So we've been talk fishing this week, and it was cool because Sundays, I don't usually like to go on Sundays because it's Boat Wake Sunday, right? Well, that's what I was singing the whole song on the Boat Wake Sunday.
Yeah, it's bad. For so many years, we didn't have to fish on the weekends at all.
Right.
Ever.
Right. And it's a night and day thing when you fish on a weekend and when you fish on a weekday. It's completely a different bay. I mean, it gets dead calm out.
Spoiled.
Say again?
Y'all were spoiled, man. I've been doing the weekend thing for years, and I guess I just got used to it after a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's when you don't fish on the weekends and you get to fish on the weekdays, that's when you really notice it.
Yeah.
Because, it was, that boat wakes every time you're trying to, and we were able to fish this week, or this Sunday without anchoring off because the currents were it was perfect conditions. It was the perfect conditions for tog fishing. For us to go tog fishing. I mean, if anybody wanted to go that day was the best day. We didn't have to anchor off to the pilings, but the boat wake was always spinning. It'll spin you right around. It'll spin the drift right around. But so we got out there. What's that?
Oh my God!
You got questions?
People can see him on the screen. Joe Massini wants to know who the Chinese guy on the computer screen is. I'm bouncing around questions too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get in trouble for that because I've skipped over a lot of what Shane has to say, but. We want to know who is the new girl. Billy.
That's fine. That's fine, Joe. I got you.
These guys are buddies. So everybody, I guess since nobody has said they can't hear Rob, everybody can hear you fine.
Cool. Good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nobody. I pulled it up to see if anybody had said anything about that. But yeah, all of us went out yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was only yesterday. Yeah. So
I got up. Well, what happened is I guess Rob's story will come. But they ended up at my house staying the night.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah. You guys fished.
They fished the river and then ended up staying the night at my house. So I get up the next morning to go to work.
Oh, what's the story about them fishing the night before? How was the night before? Rob.
It was good.
It was about as.
It been a while.
Oh yeah, you fished too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me, Billy, and Jeff Lockhart.
Yeah.
And we had a blast, man. It was one of those nights that just felt good, calm water, and I'll say it was on a flat by a creek and off near a drop off, and we just found them. They were there.
And trophy fish too, right?
Yeah. At first, we started casting. We started top water, then casting. Nothing was working, so we started trolling around just to go look. And everyone was getting takedowns, so.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
well,
you guys all fishing lures? Any topwater stuff or just lures?
We threw topwater. We weren't getting any love on the topwater, so we decided to switch the subsurface and paddle tails.
Right.
I don't know who got the first fish of the night. I know when I called Rob up, I had one that was flopped off the hog trough and at 28.5 on the hog trough.
Jeez.
So
28?
Yeah. And I caught a 29 1/4 the Tuesday.
Yeah. That was Yeah, we were all seeing that on
Yeah.
when you posted that up, and that's a huge one. So you
But,
caught 28.
Yeah, caught a 28 that night. Then Jeff Lockhart ended up with a new personal best at 26 and a half, I believe. And Rob tied his with a 26. Rob had, I believe, a 25 that night as well.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
we
in.
can hear you.
It's coming in. We lost you again.
So
Yeah.
I tied. It was 26 and a half. I was pretty happy just to tie it again.
Yeah. Ragulsky was telling a little bit about it, where he got a 28 and a
Yeah.
yeah.
Nuts.
And you got a 25, so you got actually 2 citations that night.
Got 2 papers in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, Lockhart, he got his personal best.
It was not super thick, but it was. We had a great time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we had good numbers of fish too.
Yeah.
Good numbers of 20 to 23.
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
that's
and
solid.
you start getting spoiled. You catch an 18, and I was telling Rob, it wasn't long ago that I'd be killing for an 18-inch
Yeah.
spec.
Yeah.
And now I get an 18-inch spec, and it's like, get off my line.
Right.
I don't want you.
And it seems like that area this time of year is
Yeah.
I know everybody goes for that area in the deep winter time, but it seems like when this time of year it's better, and they're spread out throughout that whole Elizabeth River complex. I mean, from the mouth of it all the way back to the locks, you can catch fish in areas all through
And
there.
trophy fish.
Yeah, right,
And
and giants. Too,
There's a
28.
lot of bait moving in the river. I mean, the big thing is you find the bait, you're gonna find the bigger fish.
Yeah.
Zach fished the mouth of the river on yesterday while we were talking from waiting and caught 3 nice trout. Not citations, but 3 nice trout still. It's right at the mouth of the river.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, staying on the whole trout theme.
I think that whole system is good though, man. It's a gigantic system. I didn't realize it until I actually started looking at it on the map and realizing how huge it was.
And especially this time of year, this is the November or early December is the time when those things. Yeah, I mean, when they say the hot ditch, this time of year, it's not just a hot ditch. It's the entire. I mean, guys, like all the way down to locks, and that's pretty much all the way down.
Yeah.
For these trophy specs, it's not only the southern branch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The eastern branch, and a lot of people have heard. Some of the guys a couple years ago heard western branch on fire.
Yep.
But I mean, hearing a lot more bigger fish in the eastern branch too.
Yep. Yep.
And they are all over finding that bait.
Well, I know. Yeah, and the Broad Creek is one spot that's really good. Yeah. But I know, and that's like the eastern branch. Is it coming through?
No, we don't have video
Well, it's still
right now.
it's trying.
Yeah.
We got Rob on audio.
Yeah, you're
so,
still
Yeah.
here,
Still
right?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so
And then I guess to stay on the trout theme, after we got off the water togging yesterday, Rob Lockhart and I went out.
As soon as I went to clean my fish, it started raining. I was like, "Oh man, these guys are out there."
And it was raining the
Raining.
whole time.
/Kayak, Kevin.
I'll talk about mine. I was struggling finding the bigger fish. Rob was getting on a class of fish that was an awesome class, just not the class I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I ended up scratching the night with a 24. I don't remember what Jeff did, but Rob, tell us what you and Jeff ended up doing last night.
So near the mouth of the creek, I decided to start tossing mirrors instead of trolling, and I caught 5 almost back to back, and like 23, 22s, 20, and I had 17 in the mix. That bite disappeared, and then I started trolling again.
Were you trolling that same mirror lure, or what were you trolling?
And then I picked up a 26, a bunch more 23s, and I think I ended a night trolling one mirror lure, the purple dude.
Right.
It was a dark purple mirror lure. I saw it.
Other one was just like a Z-Man on a quarter ounce, dark body paddle tail.
Yeah.
It was mixed. It was half and half. I was catching a lot on both of them, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I saw when we were talking that day, or yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw the purple, the dark purple.
Yeah, exactly. I never even took it off from the bed before. I just thought, figured if there was a striper blitz, I wanted something to throw in there. Just
I brought a striper rod out there too, just for that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to actively search for him, but I'm just saying if we ran across him, it's nice.
Yeah, what's a long paddle?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So yeah. But we used to. I mean, we used to be able to catch striper on the way back.
Yeah.
And we lost him again, it looks like.
Are you completely gone?
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah. He's completely gone. So.
Is that our connection or is that?
I don't know. Skype is always sketchy. I don't know. It's always been sketchy, and
I watch the MMA Hour. It's a 3-hour, 4-hour long show, and it's a real professional show. But he has Skype and come in, and even on that level, the Skype jumps in and out. But they jump right to phone lines.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is having phone lines to back up. I'm not going to have that when we start at my house right off the bat, but eventually going to, because you got to, because of that. I mean, even on that most professional level, it look clear and smooth as hell, and then it will just drop right out. But then they usually get them on the phone.
Well, Maggie has issues with my. Maybe I need a new modem. I don't know. Maggie will be watching the computer when I'm watching. I mean, the TV when I'm watching. Using the Wi-Fi, like Netflix and all that stuff, never cuts out. But it seems like Rob Choi is offline. I'm not connected to the internet either.
Ah.
Huh.
Do we want to call him and plug the audio?
Alright. Yeah, that was a clusterfuck, but we'll get it going again. Hopefully you'll hang in there. We'll just try to get at least a Tautog story in there, and yeah, before you crash out again. At least trying to deal with this dog that he couldn't get up the stairs.
All good.
All right, so yeah, so William was talking about the after you went talking was talking about when you guys went spec fishing again after the 3 days, and so that was what I was noticing as you guys were coming in and paddling in, how you guys were conserving your energy. For like me, I was like just trying to get out the rest of my energy. You guys were like conserving. I could see you guys really like just staying calm because you knew you still had another day to go. Packing your shit up. Yeah, packing your shit up was nice and easy going. You were just chilling, but yeah, that was. I noticed that. I noticed that you were holding your energy.
And the good thing is we got off the water at the right time, so it gave us time to do what we needed to do to fish those prime times last night.
Yeah.
Go get soaking wet.
To go get soaking wet.
That's exactly what you went and did.
I wasn't soaking, man. My Yakattack stuff and my jacket, dude, I was dry. I felt fine.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, man, you saw me out there Tautog fishing. That's one of the main reasons I don't like Tautog fishing in the fall. Because your hands are always wet. They're oily from the crab. Oily. It's not just wet. It's oily, so it stays like saturated. And I'm 40, almost 45, and my hands are getting arthritic, and that shit hurts.
Yeah.
That shit it starts to hurt me out there. Like I have to stop, put gloves on. I have to take breaks all the time just to warm my hands back up to be able to fish a little bit. But yes, but yeah. That's another reason why I was kind of waiting for the middle of the day to go paddling before I get out there and get cold.
Well, I mean, you didn't miss anything. I mean, we had that same bite all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, I miss Lee being, Lee being the lead show.
Lee's stuff was just ridiculous. It was amazing. I've been on the receiving end of that type of luck as well. Where I don't mean to say luck, as like a bad thing, but you found a spot and you just hammered them. Like it was ridiculous.
And you really, Lee doesn't really. Did we lose him again?
No, we didn't lose him.
No, I'm here.
No, it's okay.
Like computer's just trying to do some crazy shit.
Lee really doesn't miss the hits either. I mean, I was watching. It was between me and him. We were sitting right next to each other, and I'm missing my 2 hits, and he's getting that bite. He sets the hook on the one.
Well, and he's heckling the whole time too.
Yeah, total Lee show.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Hey, it's eating. Oh yeah, that one.
I like to sit out there and watch other people get bites. Like I like to just watch their rod tips bounce and stuff. I mean, it's so much fun.
Well, plus we're in close quarters, so we get to watch each other's.
Especially when there's no current. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there was super light current, so we were all together. When I found that super hot bite, I pulled off like 4 fish in a row, and then I caught like 6 or 7 fish, and then I just called Rob and was like, "Come over here real quick." And he came over. He's hungry right now. Going for it. But he came over there, and I mean, for him, it was on. And then,
well, shit. Well, you had a bite and missed it, and then you were like, I wasn't getting a bite yet, and you were like, just come over to this side of the piling. I came over to that side of the piling, and thank you.
Boom. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like that. Like
right.
Yeah. I mean, it is like that.
It was just, well, we stopped at a few pilings on the way out. I randomly just pick a few here and there, and didn't catch anything. We caught some fish right at the Yancey just to start the day. I mean, a couple of fish.
Yeah.
And then the one of the fish I caught there is a couple pilings before the Yancey, and I don't know what was down there. I have no idea. I kept this one as a female, and I kept this one because I jacked it up pretty bad. I don't know what happened. It might have been fine. I don't know. I definitely crushed its skull. But, I mean, it definitely had like a dent. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Rob had one like that too. Didn't you?
Yeah, he cramped, so he rammed himself pretty hard and right into his face.
Yeah, I mean, mine was bashed almost to his eye, and it was still kind of softish.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know what happened, man. It was the first one I caught. I set the hook. Oh, I broke one off instantly. I set the hook. As soon as I stopped there at the Yancey spot before the Yancey, I mean, it was like 4 or 5 pilings before the Yancey. I can't remember. It used to have a big spot on it, or the one I was looking for used to have a big spot on it. But they don't, you know what I mean? I don't know whether it was it anymore because they've coated all the pilings.
All,
yeah. So it doesn't have that big patch up on it anymore. I mean, that's the one I'm looking for. And this one felt good. I mean, there was a lot of stuff down there. Like the first fish I set the hook on broke me on the leader instantly. I mean, instantly. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So I set the hook down there. I mean, I dropped the rig back up, dropped down there again. Got another bite almost instantly. Set the hook, and the rod just like comes tight. And it's just stuck. And I can feel the fish pull and drag, and then I can get the fish back a little bit. And I can't tell, I mean, and then all of a sudden we're just stuck. So I'm letting the reel in free spool, I'm chilling out for a few seconds, I put it back in gear, you know what I mean, trying to figure, nothing ever happened. So eventually I just turn the rod down like I'm going to break it. And I go to pull, and it just comes free. And the fish starts fighting, and I'm like, that feels like my weight and everything. So I reel up, and I've got everything.
And the fish.
18-inch tall, 18, 19-inch tog, and my weight and everything, and her face is just punched. I mean, I don't know what she had wedged behind, but
she probably relaxed, and when you yanked on her, she probably like, BAM!
I don't know. I
On the opening of the hole, whatever.
pulled until there was constant pressure.
Yeah.
Like I said, at that point I was trying to break the line.
Oh, at that point, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Rob's, I was next to him, and his was all like smashed up in the face, too, like it had gone down into a hole, and he yanked it into it.
Yeah, no, I think I did this to this
Yeah,
one.
you yanked it into the structure, right?
No,
out. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but you lost track of how many you caught.
I don't even know. It was a lot.
Yeah, I caught like 3 or 4. I think. Well, of course, you got a little bit late. You caught a couple.
Probably a dozen.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing big.
Wait,
I'm thinking somewhere near 30.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, for Lee, I think it's like 25 to 30, somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
I mean, it was stupid for a while.
Yeah. And
I had about half of that, which is 12 to 15, somewhere in there.
But you had that real nice 20.
Look, I had caught.
Yeah, kind of 20 and a half. That was fun.
20 and a half, and I was right next year on that one too. That was cool because it was like.
And it was actually, we had left where I was fishing.
Yeah.
The piling that I was fishing, and we had gone away. And then when we caught it, was right back where I've been fishing all day.
Yeah. Was that the same piling?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the same piling?
We came right back into where I've been fishing all day. That's where we started fishing at the end of the day. That's where we stopped.
What I thought
I
was.
think when it turned off is when it was slackish. And
Yeah,
right. Kind of
super slack.
That's when I had just shown up at the slack. Yeah.
We started to catch a lot more junk too. I mean, when the tide changed to incoming, the junk fish showed up. I mean, we were catching sea bass. We were catching toads.
After it was a couple right.
I mean, 12 and a half
12 and a half. Almost close to mine, 13-incher. That was a big one. We had to measure that one.
Giants, man.
We actually had to measure that one.
Yeah. Yes. So the funnest part about tog fishing, especially when you go with a bunch of buddies, is that we don't mind when one of your buddies just jumps right onto the same spot.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, when you have 4, 5, even 6 guys working one piling set, and we're all heckling each other and saying, "How I saw that swing and a miss." That's half the fun,
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Well,
I mean,
it's kind of like how we spade fish too, because we get up and we take our turns, and you either because you have to rebait when you miss, so you have to come out of the line up, and then the next person gets in, boom, 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 hits or miss or catches it, and then
it's an automatic rotation.
Yeah, exactly. And we were like this, except what was cool about that piling that we were at, the structure of it
was out.
Yeah, it was out and way out, and it came off the pilings, but then it came up onto a hump and then dropped down off a ledge. So we were actually catching them on this like plateau. Yeah, next to the pilings.
You and Jeff were catching way off of the piling.
Yeah. But it was kind of neat, but also I liked it when the current changed, how the fish were on in the eddies.
Yeah,
and you also made note of when the slack happened, they spread out.
Yeah,
they weren't in those concentrated places where we.
Yeah, I mean, when the tide was like I said, the tide was not very hard yesterday for anybody, and a lot of people were fishing yesterday. For anybody who was fishing yesterday,
it was the perfect day.
Yeah, it was perfect. The tide was not running very hard at all. The current was not running very hard at all, and. But the fish were like right behind, and the eddies are big when it's like that. You know what I mean?
And with all that structure out away from the pilings, there was enough to fish at all.
Yeah, and it was a lot like spade fish.
Yeah.
Even with that regard.
As soon as you get to the bottom, you were getting a bite a lot of times.
In that style, right? In that style, and with the speed of it too.
Yeah. Well, and once they current slowed, they spread out.
Yeah.
Current comes back, they get close to the pilings.
Yeah, so that was cool. And especially on that incoming, I like that ledge, because that's where I took that picture, that selfie with all of us lined up. I mean, that we were on that ledge. It was like,
everyone was in the spot.
Yeah, everyone, all of us, even in the back. I mean,
It was a great day, and that was like the perfect.
Say again.
That was Jeff's first time actually going. Like officially tog fishing. He caught one 14-incher in the summer by accident.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, he got up to 18.5 too. So he had a really good day.
Nice.
And those are nice sized fish. I mean, the one I caught at 18, and that thing I was like, whoa! On my heavy rod, it was good. It was really good.
Well, and those are like, yesterday was a perfect introduction to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel.
Yeah, if somebody was,
there were, we ran into, who was it, a couple, I can't remember, it was Clint couples and
Ryan Clark
out there yesterday. I know Ryan's been togging a bunch. I don't know how many times Clint's been out there around the island. He had a good day. His buddy had a good day, caught a 30-inch puppy drum.
Oh yeah, and then Matt James and Mike Rosa.
That's right, yep.
There was a bunch of people out yesterday, and at one point, we were fishing with Clint and his buddy and Jeff. All of us were all fishing the same piling. We were all just, they were just biting.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, Matt, thanks for your Maryland Black Magic Tog jig.
I enjoyed it. That's right, you were using a jig. And
that's not a jig. It's a jig head. It has bait on it. A jig is a jig.
But did it have like a turn on it or anything like that?
This one wasn't offset.
It wasn't offset.
So it was, what we'd use for flounder.
I got a jig head, man.
But these guys up north use that for tog, which is good if you don't have current like we did on Sunday.
Well, and good for places like the island where you're fishing the rocks.
Yeah.
And you can find that hole and keep that bait right there. I saw
8 ounces planted. Bait right there.
5, I think.
I saw.
I used it 6 yesterday.
Nat and Jack Daughtry used that on sheepshead this summer, and they did pretty good.
Yeah.
So today was one of those days.
Kevin's probably caught as many sheepshead on a jig head as you have fishing for them.
Yeah.
And he uses a jig head for that?
Yeah.
Jig head.
Thanks for, dude, killing me.
It's a jig head, not a jig.
A jig is my metal jig.
I'm talking about a jig like as in a motherfucking no bait, as in a lure.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
A jig,
like
lure.
Plastic,
like a Lucanus jig. I think you could catch a tog on a Lucanus as good as they were biting yesterday. If I had the pink Lucanus with me, I think you could. I mean, the water was clear.
Yeah.
If they seen that thing that looks like a crab or a sea bug down there, they're eating that crab. I mean, they were biting baits as soon as they got to the bottom, before you could get the reeling gear.
Or even using like a Lacanus jig with the goop stuff from
Procure.
Procure.
Oh,
right?
pizza sauce. Rub it in peeler oil. Gulp. Peeler, gulp. Sure to catch something.
Go. Soak it in go.
That's right.
Work.
The paper oyster toads, man.
That's right. They love gulp. Yeah, I don't think I caught any big, especially big ones. 19 inches.
Yeah.
I consistently caught them all day. It was so much fun. It's fun when you can do that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's going on there?
Oh, we're running out of power.
Battery already. You got to plug for
Yeah,
this?
you're running it. Yeah, it's all the way upstairs, though. Let me go see if I can find it. I mean, I know where it is.
Yeah.
You can get it before you run out of power.
So it's working now. We're running out of power. We're working on it.
We can close that out, probably.
Ah, shit. Lost them again. Damn.
But yeah, it was an amazing day to be out.
Yeah. And that's like somebody actually messaged me yesterday, this morning. It was like, you gotta say when you're going out there. It's like, man, just when it's good days, you go. I mean, that's when it's you know when the season is. I mean, if you watch any of our websites or anything, you see when the seasons are. Where tog fishing is right now. I mean, damn, if you got the video, it's damn sure it's on that. The temperatures are on that, and it's right at it right now. It's at the right temperatures, 55, mid 50s.
Yeah, what was it, 56.4?
I don't even know. I didn't even look. I just know it's right now.
Yeah.
It's in that range. And
they're chomping everywhere in
Yeah.
the bay, and they have been for the past couple weeks, too.
Not. Your side.
oh, we lost it already. Yeah. That goes quick.
Yeah, but it's working.
Yeah, it was.
It's working good. I mean,
Talking about how perfect that day was, and not only was it the temperatures are right this time, right now, right? If somebody asked me, why don't you post when we're going to go fishing? One, there would be a million people out there, but two, you ought to be going fishing on these days.
a million people don't care about when you're going fishing.
Well, you know what I mean. I don't want to feel responsible, like
Right? Oh yeah. No,
It's like-
and
yeah.
we ran into those dudes. I mean,
Yeah, they were out
they were out there before we were.
Yeah, and
We ran into them. I mean,
and that's awesome. But for us, it's just not.
it so happens they were all lined up. Everybody was lined up, and where I caught my fish was the piling before everyone. Everyone was piling. You know what I mean? Lined up on the next set of pilings. I got to the first piling with nobody because I had stayed at the
Yancey for a while.
Yancey for another 15 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
Moved out there, stopped at the first piling nobody was at, blasted them. Ryan Clark was sitting next to me at one point. He's just like jaw dropped, like what is? As soon as the bait gets to the bottom, I'm just either hooking one or dropping my bait back down and hooking. You know what I mean? It was just
It was hot rod and Lee show.
But yeah, that's your thing, man.
It is. It is. Totally is.
I love it. Tog fishing is so much fun. I can fish with bait. I can put my bait on a jig head. I've done that.
Yeah.
My boy Damien does it. Billy's not special.
Well, that's I'm not saying I am. That was the first for me.
I did see a bunch of guys buying jigs talking about tog fishing. I don't know. They were buying those little Lucanus jigs and so.
Should we get them? There we go.
Yeah. We're back. We got
Back
power.
All right.
Welcome back. And
Yep.
Cool. We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
So we were talking about when you just got off is how perfect of a day that was. When you look at the temperatures right now, it's the right temperatures, and especially on that day, if you look at the currents, how it was a 0.6 current. I think in the afternoon, a 0.7 in the morning. So that's a doable fish. You can fish all through that current because that's the main thing is fishing the bridge is that those strong ass currents in the middle of the current flow. It's too rough to fish a lot of times. It's too hard to fish that depth. Using 10 ounces a lot of times to do it, but that day was perfect. We didn't have to tie off.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do any of that stuff. So that was like the perfect day of tog fishing.
it really was.
You
Super good times. It's pretty rare that it's really rare for it to be that way. I mean, I've been out so many times where it's just northeast wind, and it's to be expected this time of year. But it's nice when it just lays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bait dies down so fast when it just lays out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The bait turns slick as glass, super fast, back in action. I mean, it had blown. You guys went trout fishing the night before, but that morning it was blowing 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by that evening, the picture at sunset was glass.
Yep.
Especially those currents. For me, it's those currents because you can fish all day.
Especially too.
Yeah, you can fish all day with that.
In the middle of that moon phase.
Yeah. Yep. But then we got stripers coming up. Rob was asking, and other people have been asking about. So, what do you think about the stripers this year? What do you
go for them?
Well, right now with the
take your paleontologist with you.
Dinosaurs.
You have to find them first, Billy. That takes archaeologists. You can't study a dinosaur until you found him. Archaeologists find the damn things. Paleontologists study them.
You're an ass.
I'm trying to call somebody out all the time.
Fuck you, Lee.
So find out who I gotta call once I catch one of these motherfuckers.
Fucking call me. I don't care.
But I guess my opinion on what I'm seeing right now is these cold fronts are good cold fronts. These are solid, hard, winter blast cold fronts. But in the middle of between them, it turns around and gets warm like it did today, and then we get the nice blast of cold fronts. Typically, from what I remember, when we had these patterns before, that set up a good positioning of these fish coming on all at once. That was like the years when we had in 2007. Yeah. Those when we had masses of fish, we can go out there and catch a lot of them, or they're concentrated where you can really get into them. Don't know how long it's going to last, of course, with the cold fronts after that. But right now, that seems to be setting up in that scenario. But it could all change. It could be all different. The bait migration might be different. Who knows? But right now, that's my opinion on it. I think it looks good.
Right. The fish have to be here. If the abundance of fish is still an abundance of fish, then they should be migrating the way they did a few years ago.
And I believe there is. I mean, I haven't seen it from my own eyes, but the guys going out the tuna fishing have seen them offshore in the last couple of years, and there's been a mile of them. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. So it seems like there's still a mass of fish, not like you feel the way it feels around here, where it feels like it's thinning out. Now, so
it could be the whole bait issue.
There's
bait out there.
Right. And they get pushed off, but those years were odd winters too. Yeah. And right now they're in Jersey, right? The last reports I saw of big ones in the ocean were coming down from Jersey. So that's, from what I understand, that's what's happening.
I can't read it all. For some reason it won't.
Do we got a lot of questions?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's
shit.
A lot of shit talking too. But.
Okay.
The best, but we were on Talk Fishing a little bit ago, and we did have a question about the best shaped sinkers. We all differ on that. I buy bank sinkers because I've pulled the swivel and the thing out of the. I used to try the inline trolling sinkers, but I've twisted and bent and had that cut my line. You know what I mean? The bank sinkers, which are the teardrop, the ones with the
teardrop without the swivel.
Without the swivel top, yeah, the lead top. Hook. That's what I prefer. I prefer those the best. They're the strongest. They don't. If you can pull it out, you'll get it out because you don't have a swivel to break or the metal to break. So if you can pull it out, you'll get it out, and if not, the line's gonna break.
A piece of advice though on that is make sure that when they cut them, if there's any left over on the mold, it doesn't leave a sharp edge for you.
Yeah.
Because I had one break me off yesterday, and when I tied it on, I knew it was a sharp edge.
Yeah.
And I go and pull it up, and
the sinker just broke off the end.
No,
yeah, come on, inside
sliced through my leader.
on the inside of the loop. What you said about the inline sinkers.
Yeah,
those are cool. The theory of those is being able to drop them in the spots. But for me, they roll. I get a false weird. I can't get as tight.
They'll
on them.
really find a small spot to find
And
their way
wedge in.
into too.
Now I like the bell sinkers with the swivels on it because they sit nice.
Right.
I have a nice contact with the bottom, and that's why I like them. But yeah, they do. The swivels do break.
I believe that 90% of the time I'm holding my sinker standing up.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm ever really letting my even my bank sinker lay over.
And that's
another thing to tog fishing is if your line isn't tight, you're not
at all.
Catch them.
Not at all. And that's
the
why
other day I caught one with a rod and a rod holder because I took it one crank off the bottom and set it in the rod holder and he bit it enough to take the hook. Yeah. But if it had been a sinker laying on the bottom and not tight, they would have just snatched the bait off all that.
Yeah.
But I was cutting up another piece of bait or something in my lap, and I just set the rod there for a second, and took one turn on the handle, and like looked up, and it was ready to go.
Of course.
Oh, I got another one.
But yeah, that
There are a lot of guys that use Carolina rigs for them.
For what?
Yeah.
Carolina rigs?
A lot of guys that use Carolina rigs for them. I know, obviously, the guys up north are using the jig heads nowadays.
Yeah.
If you break off on a Carolina rig, though, man, you lose everything. You're losing everything. My rigs are dropper loops because I'm trying to lose a sinker. My sinker is the weakest knot.
Right.
I'm trying to lose a sinker if I lose anything.
Yeah. And as I show in the DVD, I do the one loop on the bottom, and that breaks it. That breaks it always off, and we pretty much get our hooks back.
I'll even do an extra. I'll even put one more extra overhand knot between the dropper loop and the sinker loop.
Just to give it
just so you know it'll break.
One overhand knot, just a single overhand, and it becomes the pinch point. And it proved it to me yesterday. That's exactly where it broke off. Twice, at least.
It's a great idea, too.
Yeah, that is a good spot.
Yep.
I never thought about that.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep. All right, any more questions on that?
And then all you gotta do, when you bring it up like that, then you cut off all the junk, and then you take the hook off the loop that you had before. That becomes the weight loop.
Yep.
And then you make more loop of it, and you're good to go again.
Yep. That's the thing about having those, just slipping hooks on, because one, you can change them out if they get smashed up.
Somebody want to know why Billy hates ducks. Or
why
why do you report all Seth's ducks? Why are you reporting all Seth's pictures, man?
I wish I could take credit for that. I would have loved to have been reporting.
Man, it's so fun to bother people on the internet. I wish it was me too.
What it is one of our buddies.
Trolling is awesome.
One of our buddies went duck hunting and took a picture of the ducks. You know, his kill for the day on top of his kayak, and people, somebody reported it as
over top of the Old Town Predator.
Yeah. Ragulsky was like, I'm offended that you weren't in a wildy. You know?
That was Bukowski.
Bukowski, yeah. What'd I say? Who said Ragulsky. Oh, yeah, Bukowski. I meant to say Bukowski.
Did we come up with the type of anchoring on the piling and the type of anchor we have? And did it exist anywhere, or trial and error? How did we come up with it? The history of anchoring on the pilings. Boaters traditionally used to be allowed to just tie up to the piling. Right. So they would roll up to the piling, traditionally, with a boat bumper, or what do they call that thing? A polyball or a boat bumper, attached to a rope, and that would be tied to the cleat of the front of the boat. You roll up with a guy to the front of the boat, past the piling, throw that son of a bitch through there, let the line come back. You drop the boat back, the line comes back around, you grab it with the boat hook, pull your loop tight to as close to the piling as you feel comfortable, or how big ever the waves are going up and down, you know what I mean? You don't want to, you're trying not to slam the hell out of your boat onto the piling.
Mm-hmm. But that's what, before...
But that's before 9/11.
9/11 stopped that. Now, how our anchors came about, it was a technique that was by boats, of course. We
would do that if we could... It would almost be as easy as what we do now, and I've done it before,
right.
But what we do now is just a way simpler version of that.
Technically, it's illegal, so we're not going to exactly give details about that, and it's in a video, so... but where our anchors came from were...
Pier...
And this was the idea. Rick came up with this idea. He was like, because we were thinking about, we were actually figuring out how to kayak talk fish, right? That was when we were trying to figure it out, and it was the idea of a ball, just anything that you can hook into the rocks, the old style bucket of lead or whatever, bucket of rocks,
right?
And then Rick was the idea of the pier anchor. Was it the pier? Pin rig.
It's a pin rig anchor.
Right.
So
It's
essentially
like
a Sputnik. You know what I mean? Basically, and it's got wire coming out of
Right.
it. Various different types, and you know what I mean. That was the start.
That was the beginning of the idea, and then it was, of course, just to kind of beef it up and put bigger tines in it. And then you started doing them at work with, or like.
I would buy
metal
conduit.
Right, and this is the easiest way to do it. Now I sell them on my site. I don't sell many of them because it's hard to get them made and all that stuff. But the idea was, I was going to sell on my site, was people copy it, find your own lead pourers and do it out
Right,
yourself.
just do it yourself.
And this one
so
that
easy.
we did at the beginning.
I took all you need is the ground, something to melt lead in, and conduit. I cut the conduit to however heavy you want the anchors.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you take your metal rods. Originally, we were using like coat hangers,
Right, which would rust out.
Rust out everything. Eventually, what did we end up using?
Welding sticks or something like that.
Nah, I mean I used welding rods and that they
didn't work either.
They didn't work out.
Yeah, went through a bunch of stuff, and now
I can't remember what the last thing we ended up using is.
It's stainless steel. You're just using stainless steel rods or something.
Yeah, we go to get these rods from actually no, it was regular steel that I was making them out of.
Yeah.
I never made the stainless. It's just regular steel, small, little, tiny, like 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch from actually probably like 1/8 inch from Home Depot or Lowe's.
Right.
And you would stab those into the ground as deep as you wanted to make your hooks. Set your PVC or set your conduit on top of that. Make a ring on top of that, on top of the thing. Pour the lead in till it hit the ground, and then reach the top and stop. Let it cool off, and you have an anchor made. You just grab it out of the ground, lift it up out of the ground, bend your tines around, and you got a grappling hook.
Yeah.
So anyway, now we use. They're like, and then we went up to like a pound, 2 pounds.
Right. And so we made small ones that were like 8 ounces, I think, and we started figuring out over the tubes. They weren't dropping fast enough for us to hook up. So if you're in a current and we have the tube and we're dropping here and trying to hook up, we would have to go way out and let it sink. So we figured, okay, for the tubes we need heavier weights just to drop them, to set and get in position. Now for the pilings we drop down to the lighter ones because we're not trying to get to the bottom. We're just using them for a counterweight, basically the other side.
Yeah, literally. The counterweight just holds in the current a little bit. The buoy holds in the current a little bit.
Then your rope.
The kayaks are so light, the rope is essentially Velcro.
Yeah.
It sticks in the barnacles and the oysters, and you just are basically Velcroed into your spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of how the evolution of them came to. It was really just anchoring into the rocks most of the time, but then really found out that the lighter ones and that piling technique, which is illegal.
Shane.
Jesus.
What did he say?
Shane wants Al and Rob to go in the MMA octagon. Rob kind of reminds me of a ninja, but Al's a drunken Marine. Awesome. Oh, man, do we have pencils anywhere? I wish I had pencils.
What was that?
Shane wants to see a pencil fight on the podcast. Make it happen. No, he wants to see us like pencil fight on the podcast. Number 2 is coming up next podcast. We're gonna have to get Shane in here, man, and we're all gonna pencil fight. We're gonna have a tournament. We'll get everybody we know to be on the podcast, and we'll just have a pencil fighting tournament.
No, we need some pencils.
Yeah. Jewels with the designs on them.
Yep.
Look for the ones that are solid, not with the one with a split in it. That's
Apparently
right.
Shane's bouncing off container ships and running ashore.
That's Shane's buddy. Don't beach it.
Is that a legitimate question there?
Yeah.
Oh, we got. I can't read.
It says, Kev, is all that you do with kayak fishing your job? Where's kayak fishing on a commercial business level?
Oh, well, for me, no, I have a bill-paying job at Appomattox River Company, and so that's the job. But yeah, what I do with this stuff is full-on job too. I mean, it's at that level, but it's not making a living, but it's a full-on. The time-wise, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You just devoted yourself to your passion and love for the sport. You promote it. get a little bit back from it, but not nearly.
It keeps it going.
What you get back from it is not nearly what you put in.
What I basically did was set up a situation where I could keep fishing. And I have to fish in order to keep doing this. So it's kind of like a cycle. It's just a rotating cycle that keeps feeding into each other. And that's basically what I'm not like making a living off of where I'm retiring, like anything like that. It's not even close because all that, any money I make off of it goes right back into it. And yeah, just to keep me on the water. And it's kind of like you got to be on the water to be able to talk about fishing. You can't like quit fishing and then talk about fishing. or kayaking.
Oh no! To do that, you have to go back to work at the tackle shop because that's what people at the tackle shop do. So a real legit question is explain the excitement of tog fishing. Never caught one, and curious why.
Well, Andrea last week, I got to see somebody who never tog fishing.
Yeah.
Got to see her.
I've taken several people,
and it's that one. It's tricky as fuck.
They're not the easiest thing in the world to hook.
Super target. You like you said, you have to have your weight. I mean, all these little things, these little nuances that we were talking about, are what you have to do to be able to do it. So you have to be real. You have to a lot of line awareness. You have to know what's going on underneath that water and what's going on with your bait. And then it comes to the bite. You know, you basically have to swing in anything. But once you do hook one, it's a real hard pull. It's heavy. It's tricky getting around the structure. And then it's not a huge fish, but it's a really fun fish.
So the first probably 3 seconds are the most fun because it's like as soon as you hook up, and that first 3 seconds, it is trying everything it can possibly do to get back in that hole.
And those first 3 seconds are the most important.
Yeah, and I guess that's the rush of it for me. That's where the most adrenaline is running for me, and I get so excited, and And when you first set the hook, when you know it's a really good fish, you'll know immediately, and it's on, dude. It's so exciting.
And it's also fishing exciting when you get to somewhere and start catching fish instantly. If you're a fisherman, you're excited. You know what I mean? And that's the way it can be. And then it's also exciting because some days you can sit around and you know you're going to get a bite.
That's what I'm saying.
You can feel like you know.
No, you can feel them on your line sometimes. You can feel them breathing on it. Once you get where you're really super sensitive with the line, super tight, like you're using 6 ounces, you're tight as shit on your line. We're using braid. You can feel everything down there. And a lot of times you can feel them rubbing on your line and you go, here it comes, right? I mean, Lee, you looked at me while I was trying to adjust my paddle and saw it hit. And
I'm just watching the rod just go thoink, 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 and I'm just smiling. Like the smile gets bigger and bigger every time the line just snatches.
And I'm like trying to put my paddle down and set the hook. But I went back and we're like, okay, he's there. So I'm like excited. I'm like, I'm focused now. I'm like, I'm on it. Okay, there he's got it. Bam. But there's a lot of that.
Will I post more shark fishing videos? Fuck this. Sharks are it's so boring. I mean, Rob put out Rob's video. I mean, you went shark fishing for a reason, and people have their reasons to go shark fishing. You know what I mean? And
you call it shallow water too, which is a horizontal fight.
But I mean, people put out these videos of hooking these sharks, and then they're like, "Oh, I got this awesome thing." This thing literally hooks you up and pulls you around forever and ever and ever, and every time you get it close to the boat, it either explodes in excitement or you're too scared to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's just whatever, man. I've seen them. I cut them off. I don't even fuck with them.
For me, it's just the fight themselves. It's not a consistent fight. It's a weird fight. It's unorthodox. It's not really that fun as like a red or.
It's almost like they give up at times.
Yeah,
and then they die, and then you get them close, and you think you can do something,
and they're full blown power again,
and then they explode and break your fucking shit like a ray. It's just stupid. I don't fuck with it. I don't.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't target them either. Just as the fun factor isn't there. I mean, like Rob, you target them for a trophy for the expert angler.
I'll be honest. I would go like maybe once a year on a shits and giggles kind of trip where I'm not taking it seriously, and if I get over it, I just start cutting lines or whatever.
Well, also, I like that in the shallow water because it's a horizontal fight.
I like that way more in the shallow water than I used to.
Cutbacks, and
I've gone through 25, 30 king rig days trying to troll for kings off the ocean front, so I don't do it anymore. I hate
There's a big partner that just thinks them as just nuisances.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't kill them. I let them, you know what I mean?
No, you kill those.
I don't do that.
I like the sharks. I just don't like to catch them.
We need those to kill the rays.
Yep.
Ray populations seem like to be equaling out or something.
Oh my God! You didn't see the end of the year.
Yeah.
Dude, acres and acres and acres.
I saw plenty.
We were catching those cobias
even
over top of, like, the rays were so thick, it was easy to, you would just look out for like 100 yards, and be like, oh, there's cobias over there. Because it was just like tan and then chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thick. Like 6 inches from each other, 2 feet down, or 3 feet down, miles.
Yeah. No, well, we saw them over the eastern shore plenty, but it seems like they're not as like fishing here, or fishing HRBT where you're snagging them every cast. It doesn't seem that thick. It wasn't. That was bad when it was that. When you couldn't inshore fish.
Right.
You couldn't inshore fish because you were losing jigs to rays. Any questions? Any more questions? Any more legit questions?
No.
Come on, that's a lot of thread on there. That was that?
Dude,
drum fishing.
Yeah. Well, we got on. Try Google Plus next time. Something about my modem speed was bad 45 minutes ago.
No.
So a thread for that.
No questions.
Tautog fishing.
Selling the kayak
question.
You have DVDs?
That's right.
That's it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun.
This was alright.
Cool.
I mean, Rob's like basically here in the room.
Yeah. When my computer's powered up.
Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully we'll be able to do this again and be able to. I'm gonna set this up at my house with it's gonna be a full full computer set to it.
He can't see you no matter how hard you look at that.
I know.
Right
I'm
there.
just looking at him.
No matter how hard you look in the face, he can't see you.
And that's another thing. Maybe I'll have another one where the person on Skype can actually see us, and so I'm gonna have it set up. I'm gonna set it up where it'll be right. So we'll have this studio, we'll have the Lee studio, and we'll have my studio.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're welcome to do anything here.
I'm gonna set up my computer there. I'm gonna move my computer every day we do this. So.
Oh, your work computer.
Yeah, yeah, full on work computer's gonna be doing that,
nice.
doing that work. And so then also we'll be able to. I'm gonna try to push the show up to like five shows a month. So.
Oh, what's a citation?
Of Tautog?
No. What is a citation?
Oh,
Virginia and North Carolina, I know, have a program that rewards people for catching trophy-sized fish. Whatever they decide for that size fish should be commendable. They award you either plaque and certificate for that plaque, or a lot of people that just have a lot of plaques or get a lot, or some people just put them in a booklet. They offer it in just like a booklet page.
What the citation is the piece of paper that says you caught a trophy in Virginia, and that's what that is. So when we say citation, I know it always sounds
trophy.
Like, well, it always sounds like you got in trouble, right? You got a ticket.
Yeah, like
citation,
Florida,
right?
Yeah.
So that I understand where that comes from, but yeah, it's actually a trophy for us. It's a trophy fish. Yeah.
And I mean, like, honestly, the speckled trout up here, a 24-inch speckled trout's nothing to kick a stick at, but there's so many of them.
Well,
being caught.
somebody, did Jake Howes bring up this, where he bringing up the citation size, or somebody brought this, maybe Andrew, one of these guys brought up the idea of bringing up, spec sizes to 26.
Yeah,
that would be a good.
Specs up, cobias up, reds up.
Reds up. He says 50. I'm thinking 48.
Yeah,
48 is a citation. That's when that should be a citation.
Well, just because
they also
better conservation practices.
We got more of that.
But the thing about it is, it was designed for tourist industry to start with.
Yeah,
and you sell these people licenses, these boats sell these trips. Send the people a piece of paper, you know what I mean? Afford them the opportunity to come down here. And,
it's big time for that. When I worked at the tackle shop, there's a lot of tourists coming because they want to get their citation, because they come down every year to fish with their charter to get this citation.
It's a momentum.
Yeah.
But for us, the way I kind of look at it is, it's a point that I'm striving. We dropped Rob.
Goodbye, Rob.
But it's that point that
coming back.
Hey,
are you still there?
I want to get to this point and then exceed that point.
Yeah.
So it might not necessarily be what other people would consider a trophy fish, But
Well, just like you know, well, it used to be like catching a citation drum, but now it's like, oh, I hope we get a 50-incher.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's trying to get a 50-incher.
yeah, you get that 40,
because that's
that
for
45.
us.
Now let's get that 50.
Because that is a trophy for us. That's because we've caught the citation sizes, and there's a lot of those around. You have a lot of shot at that. You have a slighter, smaller shot at a 50-incher, but it's being more possible to do it. So it's exciting to have that. Is Rob back on? Nope.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, you heard us. Cool. Yep. All right. So, any more questions on there?
No.
Looking through the questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and we still got a few viewers on here live. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm stoked for the Skype thing we had
I was
going
just
on.
down at 7. Now it's back up at 9.
Yeah.
Huh.
We're doing all right.
Just goes up and down. I know that we went up to 13, but
Yeah.
Scott and Chrissy both had it on their phone and their computers checking it out at the same time.
Cool.
So that would add 4 people instantly.
Yeah. Thanks to Yakattack, and that's yakattack.us, and the Kayak Kevin DVDs at kayakkevin.com. See you guys. Bye.
Later.